Hello guys, how's it going? Thanks for coming on down to the channel today and thank you for clicking on this video. Today I'm going to be dropping for you the first part of a multiple episode series that I've got inspired to make by some really close friends. But if the title or the thumbnail didn't give any of it away, this is a list I've put together for a lore-friendly, anime-accurate deck for Yami Bakura, who is probably my favourite antagonist in the entirety of original series in Yu-Gi-Oh! And probably all of Yu-Gi-Oh! To be honest. But I did originally upload a video very similar to this for a Yu-Gi-Oh! GX anime deck for Cyrus, but I didn't really feel that that video was the best quality. I feel like I can make a lot better than that. It needed a little bit more time in the oven, and it just felt a bit weird to not go in chronological order. So that's why I've decided to just get rid of the video, just remove it, just wipe it from your mind. It never existed. Forget about it. And we'll kick things off with Bakura instead. But before I go into details with the list, there are a few things I want to just preface first and get out of the way so there's no further confusion. These decks, you will see, are played in a very handcrafted format where anime rulings are the top priority. We follow the anime truth through and through to make things as fair as possible. So if an anime character were to play a specific card, you can use that card. That's completely fine. There's no restrictions on cards or anything like that. If they play it, they can use it. And there's only one copy per card, unless specified otherwise. There are times where this can be sort of finangled. Say if there's an instance where a character specifically played 3 copies of a card, let's say Zane, for example, when he plays 3 copies of Cyber Dragon, or if the list is really struggling to come together and you need just a few more cards just to make it work, then you can do that as well. But the final sort of bullet point I want to note is that all these decks will play a small draw package of Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, and Card of Sanctity. On the note of Card of Sanctity, that card is one of the pretty much many cards that you'll see in decks like this that use their anime effects over their actual printed card effects. Whenever I come across a card that falls into that rule, I'll make sure to mention it. But no guys, that's pretty much everything. Let's jump into this deck. So let's go through this. Let's have a bit of fun and let's crack through this, shall we? On a side note before I go over this, I love the sleeves I've chosen for this deck. This nice sort of Egyptian gold, if you will, really fits the sort of vibe of original series, I feel. So we'll jump into the monsters first. It just feels sort of right, as most deck profiles do. You go through the monsters. As you probably saw from the first part of the vid, we've got Dark Necrofear. Dark Necrofear is a badass bitch. She's really cool. Really scared the hell out of me when I first saw her appearance in the show. But she's so cool. She's what inspired me to sort of make Bakura. The moment I thought, right, we're making original series decks. My mates have been playing this format for a while. And when I sort of got into it, and I was like, right, I've made a GX deck. I've made a 5Ds one. Who do we do for original series? And no one had done Bakura at that point. And I thought, let's just go with it, since I love Bakura so much. Next up, we've got Dark Ruler Hades, D's nuts, I don't know, whatever you want to say. This guy's brilliant. He's a nice, he's got a bit of weird attack and defense points, like, for what he is. But the fact that he can't be sort of special summoned is a bit of a shame. But he's nice to be in the deck anyways, especially in that gorgeous secret rarity. I think it was from a tin or something, I could be wrong. But I got him in like a sort of old school bundle that I bought quite a while back, and Dark Necrofear was part of that list, so it almost felt like it was fate, to be honest. Next up, we have 2 very special little guys. We've got Morphing Jar and Morphing Jar here. This is a prime example of the whole sidestepping the rule for multiple cards thing, because original sort of regular Bakura, before he became evil, if you will, played 2 copies of Morphing Jar in his deck, so I thought, why not? And these guys are so fun in this sort of format. If there's ever a sort of instance you can play these cards, just play them. They're so fun, especially in a format like this. We've then got Maneater Bug for the next card on here. Nice sort of monster removal, if you can bait your opponent attacking into it. We've then got the Sangan in here. I love that he played Sangan. Really good sort of search engine for this deck, if you will, being able to get more monsters out. We've then got Gurnia in here. This is probably one of the monsters I'm thinking about cutting. He hasn't really had the greatest showing in the few decks I've played, sort of games I've played with Bakura at this point. Bakura's the newest of my 3 current anime decks. I've played the least games with him. I have the least experience with this deck. So the very few games I've played with him, he's not really done great. But he's here just for the monster list, just to add that count. And the fact that this is the only, I believe this is the only holo printing of Gurnia as well, which I suppose gives him extra brownie points for staying in the deck. Next up we have Deerbound Colonel on this list. A mate of mine, Tom, actually attempted this list quite a while back, trying to build a Bakura deck, and at the time Deerbound wasn't actually printed, and now he is, so he's in the deck, and he's actually very strong, especially in an anime context. It's a shame that he doesn't gain his attack from the anime effect. It's only the sort of attaching to a monster like, let's say, Archfiend of Gilfer, let's say, who's got a very similar effect to what Colonel has. And he's also a tribute monster, which is actually kind of weird. Next up, we have Doom Caliber Knight. The few games that I've played, weekend just passed, resulted in a few very funny interactions between Doom Caliber Knight and Bandit Keith. So, consistently, Bandit Keith has managed to get rid of this guy over and over again, whether it be baiting the effect of Cannon Soldier to get rid of him, or force flipping a Cyberjar to get rid of him. His effect is absolutely mandatory. You have to use it when your opponent activates an effect, which is a shame. So he goes 1900 beta for like 1 or 2 turns while your opponent outs him indirectly. Next up we have Jalwyn the Spiritualist. If your opponent's trying to sort of pop off with fusion monsters, any special summon monsters really, Jalwyn can help you a lot with that. So he's a nice addition to the deck. We've got the regular vanilla monster lineup next. So we've got Gross Ghost of Fled Dreams. We've got Headless Knight. We've got the Portrait Secret. And we have the Earl of Demise. Earthbound Spirit would be in this deck, but for the life of me, I cannot get a hold of him. Whether that be his Speed Duel printing or even his Labyrinth of Nightmare printing, which I'd much prefer. But either way, I don't have him at the moment. I'm going to try and source him as soon as I can. But he will be in this list here, if he was here anyways. We then have White Magical Hat. And we have Mask of Darkness. Mask of Darkness can essentially act as a second copy of any of your traps, which is very nice. We then have Electric Lizard for this one. And the final 3 monsters I've actually got down here are... I took a bit of a creative liberty in this one. I thought his monster list was a little bit short, or at least the monsters I can get a hold of. So I took a bit of inspiration from just sort of general zombie and fiends type thing. So we've got Armored Zombie in this one. And we've also got Big Eye, as well as the Bistro Butcher. I feel these guys sort of fit Bakura's kind of theme. I feel like these guys work well. I mean, 2 of them are fiends, I suppose. I know Armored Zombie's technically a zombie, but I feel like he somewhat works in this sort of spiritual, undeady type deck. So that's that for the monsters list there, guys. And next up we have the spells and traps list for this one. And I actually can't lie, some of his spells are actually kind of cracked. So we've got Premature Burial for the first card in this list. Again, thanks to Bonanza for reprinting this card. It's very gorgeous in that Platinum Secret Rare, love it. And then also leading on for that for the Bonanza reprintings, we've got Graceful Charity. This card was really, really bloody hard for me to get a hold of, but at least Bonanza managed to reprint it for me, so that's nice. I can now actually get another 2 copies of this card and put it in the other 2 character decks. We've then got Pot of Greed and Card of Sanctity as well. These are the, obviously, aforementioned cards that I mentioned at the start of the video about this draw engine that we have. They really help speed up these duels and they make it a hell of a lot more interesting as well. We've then got actual Bakura's cards now. So we've got Exchange, which is very nice for sort of swiping your opponent's cards out of their hand, especially if you know what they're playing. We've then got Ectoplasma, probably one of the cards I'm going to cut from the deck, truth be told. It's a decent-ish card in a vacuum, but your opponent can also abuse it, which is a shame. They can just kill you that way. We've then got Monster Reborn as well as the Polymerization. Duke of Demise is not currently printed as of the making of this video, but when it does, it will be put in this deck, and it will obviously use its anime effect. We've then got Dark Sanctuary as well. The few games that I've actually played with Bakura so far, like I said, I've not been able to actually get this card out at all. There's no way to search the card, you've just got to get lucky and hope you open it or you draw into it with Pot of Greed or something. but it is here in the deck, and I imagine when it eventually has its time in the sun, it'll do some quite funny stuff, especially with its anime effect. We've then got the spirit messages, so I, N, A, and L. I much rather prefer getting the Japanese version of these cards, because it spells death and not final, which is way more badass if you ask me, but we'll work with what we've got. We've then got Spiritualism here, which is a very nice combo piece with Exchange. You can get your opponent's Monster Reborn back into the hand, and you can swipe it with Exchange, which is nice. We've then got the Dark Dog, fantastic for stalling those games that you may be struggling to pull back from. You need a little bit of extra time just to mount a comeback. Dark Dog can really help you with that one. We've then got Chain Energy as well, one of the other cards I'm contemplating cutting. And we also have the Shallow Grave, which I think Bakura played this card in the anime, but if he didn't, it's a very Bakura card, I feel like. So that is the spells lineup. Finally, we have the traps, which are very few, but they're quite potent. That's safe to say. So we have Destiny Board. You can't play Bakura without Destiny Board. It's part of his identity. It's part of the deck. You have to play it. We've then got Zoma the Spirit, which is actually a card I forgot that he played. It's a very nice 1800 beta, which is very, very nice, especially if you can get him onto the field without him getting destroyed. We've got Call of the Earthbound, probably one of the best cards you can re-grab with Mask of Darkness, to be honest. And then we have the last card in this list, which is the other great target for Mask of Darkness, which is Dark Spirit of the Silent. Look at that. Beautiful. Very nice Labyrinth of Nightmare. Super rare Dark Spirit of the Silent, which actually came in a mail opening yesterday. I don't think I actually recorded that one. But no, guys, that's pretty much everything for the traps on that one. Let's put all this back together for you guys, just so you can keep it all tidy for the video. But no, guys, that's going to be everything for this video today. I do hope you enjoyed it. Maybe you found it somewhat informative and educational. I'd like to hope this would inspire some of you viewers out there to maybe start making character decks of your own. Maybe do the very similar format with your friends. Maybe do your own Battle City tournament, you know, all that sort of stuff. This is such a fun way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! It's also a very good introductory way as well. If you're a massive fan of the anime and you've never played the card game, for whatever reason, I mean, why wouldn't you? Please do give this sort of format a try. It's so much fun. I'm going to leave a link in the description of this video to a very close friend of mine, Ben, who has just uploaded his own original series anime deck for Bandit Keith. Please go show him some love, show him some support, let him know that I sent you. And no, guys, that's going to be everything for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like, comment, and subscribe if you do feel so inclined, and I shall catch you all later.